श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। Let's begin with a bhajan. So we will be glorifying Gurudev today, or the importance of Guru, because we are learning about Acharyas, right? So we will be learning about the importance of a Guru, or the role a Guru plays, right? If we all have to blossom into devotees, right? We are not devotees yet. We are just trying to become devotees. So one day, if you want to become a devotee, then Guru has a major role to play. Right, so let's begin the class with glorifying Guru. गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ये दासे तृणप्पे काति ही ना। गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ये दासे तृणप्पे काति ही ना। सकल सहने बल दिया कोरो निज माने स्पृहाहीना। सकल सहने बल दिया कोरो निज माने स्पृहाहीना। गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ये दासे तृणपे कातिहीना। सकले सम्माने कुरुति सकति देहो नाता जाता जाता। सकले सम्माना कुरुते शकति देहो नाता जाता जाता। तबे तो गाइबो हरि नाम सुखे अपराधा है बेहाता। तबे तो गाइबो हरि नाम सुखे अपराधा है बेहाता। गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ये दासे तृणपे कातिहीना। कबे है नो कृपा लबियाई जाना कृतार्थ होई बेनाथा। कबे है नो कृपा लबियाई जाना कृतार्थ होई बेनाथा। शक्ति बुद्धिहीना আমি अति दीना करो मोरे आत्मा साता। शक्ति बुद्धिहीना আমি अति दीना करो मोरे आत्मा साता। गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया तृण करो ये दासे तृणपे कातिहीना। যোগ্যতা বিচারে কিছু নাহি পাই তোমার করুণা সারা। যোগ্যতা বিচারে কিছু নাহি পাই তোমার করুণা সারা। করুণা না হইলে কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া প্রাণ না রাখিব আরা। করুণা না হইলে কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া প্রাণ না হইলে রাখিব হারা। গুরুদেব कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ये दासे तृणपेकातिहीना सकला सहाने बल दिया कोरो निज माने स्पृहाहीना सकला सहाने बल दिया कोरो निज माने स्पृहाहीना गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ये दासे तृणपेकातिहीना. Translation. Gurudeva, O spiritual master, give to this servant just one drop of mercy. I am lower than a blade of grass. Give me all help. Give me strength. Let me be as you are without desires or aspirations. I offer you all respects, for thus I may have the energy to know you correctly. Then, by chanting the holy name in great ecstasy, all my offenses will cease. When will such mercy fall to this one who is weak and devoid of intelligence? Allow me to be with you. If you examine me, you will find no qualities. Your mercy is all that I am made of. You are not merciful. If you are not merciful unto me, I can only weep, and I will not be able to maintain my life. So everybody who wants to progress in devotional service, right, would have come experienced some moment in their life where they lose track in bhakti and they don't know what to do, right? So that's why it is said a guru is very, very necessary, right? If we had all the good qualities in us, we would never fall down, right? We would never fall down. It could be as simple as, forgetting, to pay obeisances to a Vaishnava, or it could be as great as or as big as getting angry and, having a huge argument at home or in the temple or anywhere, right? It could be anything, any big thing or small thing, right? We all lose track, we all make mistakes. But that's where the guru comes and plays a huge role in our life to put us back on track and continue to nurture us with mercy, right? It's a beautiful line here. Your mercy is all that I'm made of. There is no good qualities in me, right? And if you are not merciful unto me, I can only weep and I will not be able to maintain my life. When you lose track and when you get to know you've done some aparad, right? That feeling, right? You cannot for consecutively 3-4 days or even a week sometimes, right? You cannot chant properly, you cannot do anything that you're doing properly because that consciousness, that guilt feeling is there, right? Oh, I did some aparad, what to do, what to do, what to do, right? So you always have to go speak to a senior Vaishnava and chant more, do Guru Puja at home in a more, in a more loving way, right? To your Guru if you're initiated or otherwise Prabhupada, and then sing this song. This song really gives us a lot of confidence, right? My senior Vaishnava actually recommended me to sing this song, right? So that a lot of times this is the only thing that keeps us going. Like for a plant, water is a must, right? For the plant to grow. Same way for a devotee to blossom, this song is a must. So I would request all of you to keep this, in your list and always do sing, right? This helps us get back on track whenever we fall down, right? If we were all great devotees, we would never fall down. That's a different story. Okay, Hare Krishna. On this note, let's begin. Today we will be learning about which acharya did we learn about in the last class? Anybody knows? Whom did we learn about in the last class?
Gaura Kishora Das Babaji.
Kishore Das Babaji. Hari Bol. How is he related to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati?
He is the guru of Bhakti. Yeah.
He is the guru of Bhakti Siddhanta
Bhakti
Saraswati
Siddhanta
Goswami.
Saraswati, right.
Okay, and who is the guru of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji?
Bhakti Vinoda Das Thakur.
Bhakti Vinod Thakur, right? And how are Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj related?
Father and son.
Father and son. Yeah. Okay, so in the Guru Parampara photograph, if you see, right, in the altar, ISKCON altar, or in our homes also, it's Prabhupada, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and then it is Gaur Kishore Das Maharaj. Right? It's Babaji Maharaj. It's not Bhaktivinoda Thakur, although they are father and son. Right? Because the Guru is not Bhaktivinoda Thakur for Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. It is actually Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. And then it is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the Guru of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. Okay, now we will be learning about the Guru of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Who is that?
Jagannath Das Babaji.
Jagannath Das Babaji, Hari Bol. Right? So, Jagannath Das Babaji is the guru of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, very, very senior he is. And who is the guru of Jagannath Das Babaji? Although we don't frame his picture, who is the guru? Prabhupada mentions his name in almost all the purports.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Das Thakur.
Haribol, exactly. And Samsara Dava, right? The Mangalarati song that we sing, Guru Ashtakam, is also composed by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Okay, so he is the Guru of Jagannath Das Babaji. Okay, so today we will be learning about Jagannath Das Babaji. We will also, what is that one quality that inspires all of us from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji's story? What is Gaur Kishore Das Babaji known for?
He
What
was
were-
not too much attached to material world.
So what is the term for that? Detachment means what, in other words?
Vairagya.
Vairagya, renunciation. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji was renunciation personified. Right? We learned that in the last class, right? Like we literally learned if renunciation had a human body and was walking, that is Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. So that renounced he was. What was his food? Anybody remembers?
Parched rice and Ganges water.
Ganges water, exactly, and parched rice, right? And what was his clothing made of? How would he dress him up? From what was the source of his clothing?
He would cover his body with a corpse's clothes on the Ganges.
Exactly. Haribol, very attentive. Right? So dead bodies in the Ganges, right? He used to take clothes from the dead bodies and wear. That would be his clothing, right? And he was married, right? How was his life with his wife? How he would practice bhakti, even married, even after marriage? Attitude he had? Anybody knows? No one knows. So his attitude with his wife was, anyone knows? So he always saw his wife to be a servitor of Krishna. That is what he was teaching the same thing as well, right? He was connected or related to his wife through Krishna, not directly, right? And he also told the success of Grihasthashram, or the secret of success of Grihasthas, married devotees, is that we are not supposed to consider our spouse to be our, a husband shouldn't consider the wife to be his servitor or his servant, right? Or assistant or partner or something like that. Rather, a husband should consider his wife to be Krishna's servitor, right? So that way the husband should be related to the wife, or a wife should be related to the husband, keeping Krishna in the center, right? Both of us have come together to serve Krishna. She is a servitor of Krishna, I am a servitor of Krishna. Or for a Mataji, it should be, okay, my husband is a servitor of Krishna, okay, so I need to serve him so that, he can serve Krishna better. So Krishna should be in the middle. No direct relationship should be there, right? In our perception or in our mind, no direct relationship should be there. This way, relationships will be durable, it will last. Otherwise, easily they will break, right? That's what we learned last class, right? So if Krishna is there in the center, because you're doing transcendental service to the Lord, the relationships will not break. They will last forever, right? Even after you leave this body of yours and go back home, back to Godhead, there also your relationships will continue, because we are devotees here, right? So let's begin with Pranam Mantra. गौराविर्भावभूमिस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रिया वैष्णवा सार्वभौमा श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, who is respected by the entire Vaishnava community and who confirmed the discovery of the place where Lord Chaitanya appeared. Okay, so he confirmed the place where Lord Chaitanya appeared, or the Yoga Pitha, right? So he confirmed the place, and he is Vaishnava. He is respected by the entire Vaishnava community. He's called Vaishnava Sarvabhauma, right? He is respected by the entire Vaishnava community, and he is considered to be, the best amongst the entire Vaishnava community. That's his position, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, and he confirmed the discovery of the place where Lord Chaitanya appeared. Okay, so Jagannath Das Babaji lived for 144 years. Can you imagine? Right? 144 years he lived. Right? So Babajis, they don't even eat 3 times a day. Right? They don't eat, they don't have the diet we follow, right? So many items and all that. But they live longer than, what we live. Right? So how, where is that Shakti coming from? Where is the energy coming from? Who knows? Where is the energy coming from? No one knows? Where is the energy coming from? What gives us energy to live? Is it food? Ah, I got an answer in the chat. The energy comes from the soul's Ananda. Haribol, exactly. Right? If the soul is happy, we will live for a very long time. And where is the soul getting happiness from? From Paramatma inside, right? So only when the soul gets connected to the Paramatma, the soul experiences some kind of happiness. It's called bliss or Ananda, right? Or Paramananda. And when the soul gets that Ananda, then the entire body will be happy, fit and fine, right? It's not just the food, right? So the more and more we make our life spiritualized, right, the more and more we engage ourselves and make our life spiritualized, our body also becomes spiritualized. So our body is not material anymore, right? I gave this example, I told this in many classes before also, right? That's why these acharyas are not there. When they leave the body and go back home, back to Godhead, their bodies are not burnt. They are rather, preserved. They're built samadhi, right? Their bodies are built in a samadhi, and a temple is built around the samadhi, right? And it's called samadhi mandir, right? It's not just some body, right? It's samadhi mandir. People go there, they chant, they are worshipped. Their samadhis are worshipped, right? I still remember Prabhupada, right? When he was in Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami's samadhi was there. Okay, so he used to go, it's still there, right? When we go to Vrindavan Yatra, you can see. And he used to sweep the Samadhi Mandir there, and he used to cry and weep in front of him and beg mercy from, Rupa Goswami, sitting there and praying. I'm starting to translate, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Please give me mercy. Please shower all the mercy upon me so that I will, convey what you've told in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as is to people in the form of nectar of devotion. Right? He used to weep and weep and weep and chant in front of Rupa Goswami Samadhi. And people used to see him do that. And some people used to go and ask him, Prabhupada, why are you doing all this? Right? Prabhupada was like, they used to ask, Rupa Goswami is not here anymore. Why are you doing all this? Then Prabhupada used to say, who said he's not here anymore? Can't you see Samadhi? Right? His body is not material anymore. His body is spiritual. So his body will hear what I'm saying. When you pray sincerely, he will answer your prayers, right? So that's where that's how acharyas' bodies are treated, because they have engaged in devotional service. Their body will lose the material qualities and start acquiring spiritual qualities. Okay, so energy, everything comes from the soul within, which is connected to Paramatma. Okay, not the food or anything, right? And that is just external. So he lived for 144 years. And Diksha Guru of Jagannath Das Babaji was Sri Madhusudana Das Babaji. Okay, so he did bhajana for many years at Surya Kund in Vrindavan, right? So he used to stay in Vrindavan, and he used to do his worship bhajan in Surya Kund in Vrindavan. Okay, so his practice was to live 6 months in Navadvip and 6 months in Vrajabhumi, okay, Vrajamandal. So 6 months in Vrindavan, 6 months in Mayapur, Navadvip. That's how he used to divide his stay, okay. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur received valuable instructions on pure devotional service from Jagannath Das Babaji. Okay, so Bhakti Vinod Thakur's guru is Jagannath Das Babaji. He guided Bhakti Vinod Thakur on devotional service, pure devotional service to the Lord. Okay, so during his time, said Thakur Bhakti Vinoda, Sri Jagannath Das Babaji was the most advanced Rasika Vaishnava in Gaura and Vrajamandala and Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri. Rasika Vaishnava. Who is this Rasika Vaishnava? What is the meaning? What is the meaning of Rasika Vaishnava? Anybody knows? Who knows what is Rasika? Rasika means what? You can try, you can put your answers in the chat. Rasa, right? Rasika means somebody who's enjoying rasas. Rasa means what? How many rasas do we have to serve the Lord? Primary rasas?
5 rasas.
5 rasas, right? 5 primary rasas. What are they, Mataji? Yeah, 5.
Sant rasa, Sakya rasa, Dasya rasa, Madhurya rasa, and Vatsalya rasa.
Vatsalya rasa, yeah? Shanta Dasya Sakhya Vatsalya Madhurya. 5 primary rasas are there to serve the Lord. What is rasa? Meaning of the word rasa? Nectar. Haribol, exactly. The taste, the nectar, the sweetness, right? The kind of relationship you have with the Lord. You know, and when you serve in that particular rasa, you get ananda, right? Or nectar. The taste increases, right? So these are the 5 rasas or the 5 primary ways you can relate. You can build a relationship with the Lord. Vatsalya is like a child. Madhurya is like a husband partner, right? And Shanta is neutral, right? And then Dasya is like a servitor and master relationship, and then Sakhya as a friend, right? These 5 primary ways you can serve the Lord. And Rasika means any person who serves the Lord in either one or all the 5 rasas, right? It's called a Rasika. Rasika means who's always engrossed in that particular relationship with the Lord. Like, for example, say Yashoda Mata, right? She's engrossed into taking care of Krishna as a son, right? So Vatsalya Ras. And she's so engrossed, right? So she is also Rasika because she's engrossed in that particular rasa of the Lord, right? And this Jagannath Das Babaji is known as one of the most advanced Rasika Vaishnava of of that time. Can you imagine? One of the most advanced Rasika Vaishnava. Vaishnava matlab, ultimate, the outcome of a Vaishnava, right? Or the, what do you call, what should a Vaishnava achieve, right? We are all doing devotional service. What should we really achieve? What is the aim that we have to achieve? Just not going back home, back to Godhead. Establishing a relationship with the Lord. Connection, right? You need to treat Krishna as your friend, right? For our level, it's Shanta, not Shanta, Dasya Sakhya, right? So treat Krishna as either one of these, or Vatsalya, Madhurya. Vatsalya. When people, some devotees have Laddu Gopal at homes, right? So they will consider Krishna to be their son, and like a small child, they start taking care, right? They give him food, they bathe him, they put him to sleep, they wake him up in the morning, they take care. When they buy new clothes, they buy new clothes for the deity also, right? So that way they consider him to be their family member and take care of him, right? This is the ultimate relationship that you can develop with the Lord, and this is the goal of Krishna consciousness, right? If only when you build a relationship you have entry in Goloka. Otherwise Krishna will be like, okay, you come here and do what, right? But if you have a relationship with with the Lord, then you can go back to Goloka and serve him in the same relationship that you are inclined towards. This cannot happen artificially. You cannot say, oh, I should just build a relationship. Okay, I'll consider him to be my friend. No, when you chant and chant and chant and spend years together in Krishna consciousness, from within, Paramatma will tell you what is your relationship with Krishna. And then you will automatically start getting inclined and seeing Krishna in that way, right? And then you will practice your Krishna consciousness in that particular relationship. Then, with Guru's blessings, Guru will take you back home, back to Godhead, and you can continue your service there in that way, right? For example, Rupa Goswami's Rupa Manjari, right? That means what? Rupa Manjari is a female devotee, right? Female. She's Manjari in Goloka. But when she came here, she came in the form of a male devotee, right? But so like that, all of us have some kind of identity in Goloka, right? So that is our constitutional position, right? That is our real identity. But we've come here and we are taking different bodies, right? Dog's body, cat's body, tree's body, human's body. We keep taking different bodies. So when we realize what our identity is, right? Okay, what are we in Goloka? That means self-realization. And then we can go back home and continue our service there to Krishna directly. That is Rasika, right? Rasika Vaishnava. And Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is all about this. Okay? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave him the title Sarvabhauma, the chief of the Vaishnavas. Right? The chief of the Vaishnavas. So it was given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And when he was 125 years old, right? You can see the picture. So his body appeared bent like a semicircle. And his eyelids hung over his eyes like heavy stage curtains. Okay, his eyelids hung over his eyes like heavy stage curtains. And standing on either side, two disciples would lift his droopy eyelids so he could offer Tulsi Manjaris to his deity of Giriraj Govardhan. Can you imagine? Right? He took help. Two disciples would stand on either side, take his eyelids off so that he could see the deity and offer Manjaris. Tulsi Manjaris. Tulsi Manjaris means Tulsi leaves to the Lord. Right? Can you imagine? To his Sri Giriraj Govardhan. That was the deity he used to worship. Can you imagine? Because his eyelids hung over his eyes like a heavy stage curtain. He couldn't see and he couldn't open his eyes by himself. He needed help. He was 125 years old. Right? And when he was 142 years old, right? 142, he couldn't see or walk. Right? And his one servant of him, right, Bihari, he used to carry him on his shoulders. Can you imagine? So this is all because he wanted to give his disciples, his devotees, his disciples a chance to offer Vapu Seva to the Guru. Our Guru Maharaj also, he keeps saying, no, chant more, do more of Tulsi Parikrama. If you do all this, my health will become good. I will recover. His body is transcendental. Guru Maharaj's body is transcendental. He can never get diseased. Okay. Why is he doing all this? It's just external to make us more, Krishna conscious, to make us more, more and more get engaged in seva. So at least because of this reason, we will do more Tulsi Parikrama. We will do more chanting. Right? This is all Guru Maharaj's way to make us more and more get engaged into service. Right? Because their bodies are transcendental. They can never catch disease. They can never have any kind of sadness or anything. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, they are transcendental to that. Right? So Guru Maharaj cannot be uncomfortable ever. He is always happy. He is Ananda, Kevala Ananda Kanda. But it is for us to do more and more devotion service, right? And some devotees are there with him all the time, right? Serving him, cleaning his bed sheets, taking him, pushing his wheelchair and all that. So Guru Maharaj just wants to give all of them a chance to do Vapu Seva. That's it, right? It is for our benefit. Guru Maharaj is going through all that and taking so much trouble, right? So same way here also Gaur Kishore Das, Jagannath Das Babaji is giving his disciples an opportunity to serve him more and more. Because when you serve Guru more and more, Krishna will be pleased. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Right? When Guru is pleased, Krishna will be pleased. But whenever there was a Nama Kirtana, would bolt out of his basket and leap 4 feet into the air. In great ecstasy, he would begin to sing and dance. Can you imagine? See, this Bihari, okay, he used to carry him in a basket on his shoulders. Okay, but when there was Nama Kirtan, he would just fly out of the basket. Can you imagine? And he would start singing and dancing. That is the ecstasy of Nama Kirtan. That is the power, right? It gives soul so much ananda, right? And nobody can resist. Nobody can resist, right? Because Jagannath Das Babaji is a self-realized soul. He knows what is his position in Goloka, right? And so he couldn't just resist when there is something about Krishna Nama Kirtan going on. He could just go out completely in ecstasy. He performed vigorous bhajan despite physical limitations, right? He performed rigorous bhajan, right? Despite physical limitations. And he was fond of chanting, right? Chanting loudly in both japa and kirtan. Even during japa session, he used to chant loudly. Okay, and during kirtana he would sing Nitai ki naam eneche re, ki naam eneche re, ki naam dite chere. Oh Lord Nityananda, what a wonderful name you have brought. Oh Nitai, what a wonderful name you have given. Haribol, right? And after chanting almost the whole night, the next morning he would offer 1108 dandavats to the deities. Can you imagine? We just saw the picture. He had physical limitations, right? He couldn't, walk so well and everything, right? And despite all that, what did he do? Every morning he would offer 1108 dandavats to the deities. Dandavat pranam. Can you imagine? Dandavat pranam, right? If we go and offer Dandavat pranam, a lot of Prabhujis, what they say, oh my God, my back is aching. So many times I offered pranam today. So many Vaishnavas came today, right? But look at this. Jagannath Das Babaji used to offer 1108 Dandavat pranam to the deities. And he used to chant whole night, no sleep, without sleeping, right? That's why I said they were not on the bodily platform at all. At all. Bodily discomforts, they couldn't even sense. They were numb to bodily discomforts. Can you imagine? Because they were in a different world. They were in a spiritual world altogether, right? So he was always enthusiastic to serve the Vaishnavas. So he was a Vaishnava himself. He was chief of Vaishnavas, Vaishnava Sarvabhauma, and still he was enthusiastic to serve other Vaishnavas to show by example that we always, however grown up we are in devotional service, we might have attained any stage, but we have to serve other Vaishnavas because they are all servitors of Krishna. And Krishna says, Madbhaktya pujya bhi adhikam, right? Worship of my devotees is considered greater than my own worship. Krishna says that, right? So Krishna is more pleased when his devotees or other Vaishnavas are more pleased, right? And so yeah, he was completely out of this world. See, we can see, right, his diet. He lived an ascetic following on strict diet and yearly chaturmasya as well, right? In chaturmasya, what did he do? First month he ate only 4 bananas in the evening. Entire month, every day only 4 bananas in the evening. Second month he ate only guavas. Third month only whey. Okay, maize, that curd wala water, right? And fourth month he ate only boiled banana flowers without salt. Can you imagine, right? So, and still he survived for 144 years, right? How? How can you do this? Doctors say you have to follow this, you have to eat that, you're aging and all that, right? To all old people, right? But look at this, right? That's why he was on the platform which is not in the material world. Jivan mukta sa uchyate, right? There are some people who are, I mean, when they are constantly engaged completely in devotional service, they are in this material world, but they are not in this material world, right? There's this shloka, no, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. What is it? Iha yasya harirtasya karmana manasagira nikileshvapi avastasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. Jivan mukta sa uchyate. Iha yasya, you are in the material world. Iha means material world, right? But haridasya, but if you are engaged completely in devotional service, right, to the Lord, then what happens? How? Karmana manasa gira, with karma, actions, manasa, with mind and thoughts, and gira, that is words, right? Manasa vacha karmana, body, mind and words. If you are completely engaged in devotional service to the Lord, right, and then even though you are in the material world, you are considered liberated, right? You are liberated. That means even though you are in material world, you are not here, you are actually in the spiritual world. And the symptoms is exactly what we are seeing in Jagannath Das Babaji's body and soul. They are not going together, right? See the bodily discomforts he has, right? And still the soul is like so enjoying jumping and dancing in kirtan and all that, right? So this proves soul is not connected to body in any way, right? So to confirm his findings, Bhaktivinoda Thakur requested Jagannath Das Babaji to see Lord Chaitanya's appearance place. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the one who found out or discovered Yoga Pitha. Okay, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace in Mayapur, Navadvip Dham. Okay, but we always need confirmation, right, from senior authorities. So that's when Jagannath Das Babaji visited and said, yes, this is the place, right, and this is the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born under a neem tree. That's why he got the name Nimai. And this neem tree is the place, this is the neem tree where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born. Okay, it's all preserved, right? So intoxicated with Gauranga Prem, Jagannath Das Babaji leapt high in the air and began chanting and dancing at the discovery of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Yoga Pita. Can you imagine? Right? Intoxicated with Gaura Prem, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's love for the Lord. He started chanting and dancing, right? So that is the soul's nature. What is the real nature of the soul? To enjoy, right? To be happy. Ananda, Satchidananda is the nature of the soul, right? Sat, always there, eternal, right? Chit, full of knowledge, right? What knowledge of what? That I am the servitor and Krishna is the master, okay? And Ananda, Satchit Ananda. Ananda is bliss. Always be happy serving the Lord. That is the soul's nature. Right now it is covered up. We don't feel like serving, and even if we do some service someday, we still don't feel happy doing that service because the soul is covered with material impurities, dust. So much of dust, kgs and kgs of dust is there. So what do we have to do? We have to do marjanam, cheto darpana marjanam, by chanting. Chanting is the broom, okay, and the mop. You have to take this broom and mop and do marjan every day by chanting 16 rounds and more, okay. So the teachings of Jagannath Das Babaji or the instructions. So he said you must avoid men who associate with women. Okay, you must avoid women and you must avoid. I mean, this is for women as in opposite sex. Okay, if you are a woman, you need to avoid men, and if you are a man, you need to avoid women, right? And men who associate with women. Same thing applies to women. Women also who associate illicitly with men, right? Or with a man who in any way associates with a man who associates with a woman. Okay, so that means you just have to associate with pious people, okay, good people and devotees. Ignore bad people because you will also become bad if you associate with bad people. There's a saying, no, one apple spoils the rest in the basket, right? So one bad apple will spoil the rest of the good apples in the basket, right? Same way. And same way, devotee association, one devotee, right, can make all the others also devotees. So if you stay in devotee association, you will progress. And to realize the supreme goal of life, you must repeat Harinam regularly and steadfastly. Steadiness is so important that it must be maintained even at the cost of one's life. Can you imagine? Steadfast, so important that is. I will not miss my rounds even one day, even if I'm sick. I will sleep and chant my 16 rounds. That should be the attitude, right? So only then what happens? You can get Krishna, what you want, because Krishna is not easy. Krishna is not cheap, right? He sees that love and determination that you have in your heart, right? And we have to prove that we are determined by doing these small things, chanting every day without skipping even one day. These are all some small gestures that you can prove to Krishna, yes, I want you. I'm ready to take this path of devotional service. Please do accept me. Then he will accept, right? So Krishna is the avatar of Dwapar Yuga. Gaura is Kali Yuga avatar. So we should sing the name and glories of the avatar in whose age we live. Just as in kingdom, we praise the ruling king. Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari. This is a wonderful advice, right? That we've got today, right? We all say, oh, Krishna is the Lord, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. But you know, the example that he's given, say there is one prime minister right now, okay, and say there is elections, okay. So yesterday there was a prime minister, and then today there is elections, and tomorrow say that prime minister goes away and some other prime minister comes, some other government comes. Will you keep saying, oh no, previous government, this was the rule, I will follow this only? Oh, no, the prime minister is now different, still for me that previous one only is the prime minister. Can you say that? No, right? You need to go with the change, right? You need to go with the change, right? So this way, what happens? For Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Yuga avatar. For Kali Yuga, it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Krishna came down in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna did not come in the form of Krishna in Kali Yuga, right? So Gauranga Mahaprabhu is the avatar of the Kali Yuga. So right now the government is Gauranga, right? So we need to worship Gauranga. So that's why I have always told you many times, right, in a lot of previous classes, get at least, if not Gaurnitai deities, get photograph of Gaurnitai or Panchatattva, right? Even when we chant our 16 rounds, what mantra do we chant first? We don't directly start with the Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna mantra. No, we chant Gauranga's mantra, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mantra, Panchatattva mantra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Because without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no Krishna. We cannot get Krishna at all. That is the levels of mercy, right? Nityananda's mercy will take us to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy will take us to Radharani. And Radharani is the one who is going to recommend and take us to Krishna, right? Directly, Krishna will not see any of us. We are all completely invisible to him, right? So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaur Nitai, Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is whom we have to worship first, and then we will get promoted to Krishna. Okay, so that is why even Jagannath Das Babaji is saying, just as in a kingdom, we praise the ruling king, not the ex-king, right? Ruling king is what we praise, right? So never forget Gaura. Gaura is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is very merciful. He is more merciful and benevolent than Krishna. Can you imagine? So in the further classes, we will be learning about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, that time you will yourself understand why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu more merciful than Krishna. See, Krishna gave us a condition, Sarvadharman Parityajya, right? Mamekam Sharanam Vrada. You surrender to me, then I will Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshashyami Mashacha. Then I will deliver you, right? Then I will nullify all your sinful reactions and accept you. So Krishna gave us a condition. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no condition. Whether you surrender, you don't surrender, no problem. I will give you freely Krishna Prem. And he freely distributed Krishna Prem to Patra, Apatra, Deke, Na Deke, right? He never saw, oh, is he qualified to receive Krishna Prema? Nothing. Anybody and everybody just got Krishna Prema just like that, like bumper offer, right? Free of cost. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful and he is made for Kali Yuga, right? So Krishna's rules and regulations in Bhagavad Gita might be difficult for us to apply in Kali Yuga, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows what we go through in Kali Yuga, and that's why no rules and regulations at all, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful and he's Krishna himself. So if you worship Krishna in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we can get Krishna faster, right? So Krishna is just like a ruler who takes into account your offenses in his administration of justice. Gauranga does not take your offenses, right? So whereas Krishna is more interested in the dispensation of justice, Gauranga Mahaprabhu is more interested in distribution of mercy. So that is the difference. So from this point of view, Gaura Kirtana is more useful than Krishna Kirtana. Gaura Kirtana means Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. See, Krishna takes offenses. He will see, oh, you did right, you did wrong. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not take offenses. He will only see the intention. There are so many rules, no Pancharatrika Vidhi and all that to worship Krishna. But for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no rules at all. There is no rules at all. You just have to have the intention to serve with a pure heart, loving heart, and you have to chant Hare Krishna. And if you worship Gaur Nitai at home, there is no rule, to serve also, to serve prasadam, bhoga. No, if you have Krishna, you have to offer bhoga 3 times minimum a day. But Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Gaur Nitai, no. Even if you don't offer them bhog, they are happy. You just have to chant Harinam. That's it. As long as they are chanting, they are happy. They will stay in your house. They will stay in your heart. Okay? That's very important. The Sonar Gauranga temple in Gopal Bhag, Vrindavan, houses Gaur Nitai deities, which was once worshipped in Surya Kunda by Sri Jagannath Das Babaji. Hari Bol. The deities worshipped by Jagannath Das Babaji is preserved here. Right? And so in Krishna Leela, he serves as Rasika Manjari. So we were talking about our constitutional position, right? So here, Jagannath Das Babaji was in Goloka. Who is he? He is Rasika Manjari. Again, Manjari means Sakhi's assistants, right? Manjaris are all like 12-year-old girls, just serving Radha Krishna Leela. Okay, so again, so she is Rasika Manjari actually, but she came down in the form of Gaur Kishore, Jagannath Das Babaji, and to deliver all of us, right? So this is his bhajan and bhajan kutir and samadhi. Okay, so this is about Jagannath Das Babaji, and any questions? Anybody? Any questions anybody has? Or anything to add? Nothing? So everything is clear? Okay, so next class we will be learning about Prasad Seva. Okay, how to offer bhog, why to offer bhog, what is the importance of Prasadam, all this we will be discussing, and then we will be moving on to the Goswamis. Okay, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Or we can also learn about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, anything. But next class will be all about Prasad Seva. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. Also, Vrindavan Yatra, right? We are going. ISKCON Mangaluru has organized, right? 23rd February to 25th February. So 22nd we need to arrive there, and 26th we will be leaving. Okay, so please do register. Registration links will be soon out. Okay, it will be sent to you all. Please do register. Let's meet there. Okay, it's going to be very nice because we will have Krishna Katha in the evening, right? Entire day we will be doing Yatra, and in the evening we will have Krishna Katha. We'll get to hear from all the Vrindavan senior Vaishnavas, very, very senior Vaishnavas, okay, who's been serving in Vrindavan temple. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you all for
Hare
joining.
Krishna Mataji.